So, if Instagram isn't the powerhouse of marketing for a small notary business, then what is it that we can use? Take a second, think about it. Those of you that have talked to me before know this is how I built my Q the Notary business. Facebook. Why Facebook? Because Facebook has community groups. Okay. Now, I know that there's a lot of articles out there for notaries that say, go and start a Facebook page and join a bunch of notary groups. My question to that is, why? Those are not my customers. The notary groups are not my customers. Now, if I have a question about being a notary, absolutely. Find a state notary group. I think all of them have state notary groups, and ask your question, because you want to be state specific with those things, because every state has their own laws. So make sure you have access to a state group to ask state specific questions, or work with a mentor or trainer that's in your state to ask those questions too. You have to be careful about receiving information as far as the laws go from somebody else outside of your state, okay? Just want to make that very clear. But Facebook has community groups, and guess what? Facebook is the largest social media platform in the world for ages, I think it's like 28 and up, 29 and up. Okay, and a lot of middle-aged folks to older folks have learned to use Facebook, and they're not learning to use these other social media platforms on a grand scale. Now, somebody's auntie or grandmama might be on TikTok and Instagram, and that's cool, and that's all fine and dandy, but we're talking about a majority, not a minority. Okay, the majority of folks that use our services are on Facebook, and they're in community groups. What kind of community groups am I talking about? Groups that actually pertain to where you live. So in my area, we have East Fallowfield groups, we've got Coatesville groups, we've got Thorndale groups, and this is where the community talks about community events. They also talk about things that are happening in the community. You know, if somebody hears a loud bang at 2 o'clock in the morning, I can almost guarantee you that somewhere in a community group in your area, somebody's talking about it. See, the thing is, when it comes to marketing, you want to get in front of your clients or your prospective clients, the people that you want to earn business from. And with Q the Notary, I took the approach of, let's get known within the community. That way that my community knows that I exist. Because if I want my business to last for 5-10 years, I'm going to need my community to support my business. You know, a lot of us get into the notary business and we say, okay, I'm going to be a loan signing agent only. Okay, but what happens if the market's not booming in your area, right? And then you turn around and say, well, the notary business isn't all it's cracked up to be. Not necessarily, because had you gone out and connected with your community and put out those same advertisements in those community groups, I can almost guarantee you that your phone would start ringing pretty quickly. That's how it happened for Q the Notary and everybody else that I've worked with. It's how it's happened for them too. But you have to be diligent about it. You can't just post once every 2 weeks. I mean, you can if you wanted to, but you have to post on a weekly basis, consistent basis. Now, when it comes to Facebook marketing, what I would say is wait for the 1st and the 15th for a majority of those community groups, because that's when the larger community groups that have 17,000 people in them, they open up they allow small businesses to start to post their businesses. So on the 1st, we've got a community group out here in Downingtown, large population. I think there's like 30,000 people in that group. It's only open on the 1st and the 15th. Why? Because a lot of these community groups don't want businesses spamming their groups. They want to talk about real issues. And this is actually a place for you to join in on the conversation. So that way, when the small business days come up where you're allowed to post, people are already familiar with you. See, I think in a notary business, we're afraid to expose ourselves. We're afraid to be ourselves. And unfortunately, when you're a business, especially with a notary business, you have to let people see you. You have to let people know who you are. Just saying that you're a notary, they can go to a bank to get notarizations. They can also go to a license and titling place. Here in Pennsylvania, we've got a place called Wiggins. Shout out to Wiggins. Where you can go to get your title transferred. Now, as a notary here in Pennsylvania, that's something that, the notaries with the brick and mortars, that's generally what they have because that's required to do title transfers. So how do you separate yourself from them with your marketing? Now, when it comes to tags and title places like the ones around me, they've been up for 15, 20 years. People already know about their existence. People will go to them just because they've been there forever. So as a new business, your job is to be available. Answer the phone when your community calls you. Be there, smile, be pleasant, deliver a great service, be personable, be likable. And that's what's gonna help your notary business grow. That is the best marketing that you can do. Putting all this stuff out on the internet, I mean, that's fun and that's great. And, it's funny to hear me say that considering I run a marketing company as a digital creator and I create a lot of this stuff. So what does my company do? We help people with those advertisements to make sure that it's going to captivate their intended audience. That's why it's captivated. It's always captivated, baby. That's what we do. But what I will tell anybody that works with Captivated Notary Marketing Solutions is that the best way to market yourself is 1, know your state laws. 2, answer your phone. 3, be available. That's it. That's the best way to market yourself. Using all of these tools like Facebook and Google Business Profile, they're nice, but all they are is just tools. You have to go out there and do the job. You have to deliver the service. You got to get people saying that that's a reputable company. That's what's most important. Posting on Instagram really isn't going to help you. It may help you get some friends in the notary world, which that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I've made tons of connections through Instagram in the notary world because my business kind of requires that, running a notary marketing business. It's kind of required. You know what I mean? But for Q the Notary, I'm on Facebook. I'm walking outside of my house with a t-shirt or my work shirt, which is just a polo, or a hoodie that has Q the Notary on it anytime that I step outside of my house. I'm constantly advertising and letting people know that there's a notary around them. And that's the type of level of marketing that you've got to be willing to do. Invest in your business. And it's tough because a lot of new notaries, they invest in the information and don't invest in the business as far as what they need to do for marketing. And then when it comes to marketing, you try to do it really cheap. You try to go on Canva and make some type of design that looks halfway decent, not knowing any design elements. Your texts are kind of all over the place, or there's contrast between the colors that don't really work well. And now you've put your business in a poor position to be represented properly, the way that you envision your business to be represented. So what I want you guys to get out of this is that Instagram is not the be-all, end-all for a notary business. It is a great platform for the notary trainers and those that host events, or those that have some type of training call or something along those lines, because social media is not the notary business. If you're trying to get customers that are actually going to use your business and use your stamp and help further the revenue that you bring in for your family, Instagram ain't it. Prove me wrong. Leave a comment down in the comment section and give me your thoughts. If you have a good rebuttal on this, I'd love to hear it. But by the numbers, for us, Instagram ain't it. Hey, it's Captivated Notary. Like, share, and subscribe down at the bottom. Make sure that you check out the Notaries Unsealed podcast on all major streaming platforms. And let me know what you think down in the bottom. It's Captivated, baby. We out of here. Peace.